My name is Alex Blay. I'm head of strategic partnerships at Mifundo. And it's a pleasure and an honor to have the opportunity to pitch here today. So let me present you Mifundo, the next Estonian unicorn. So to understand what Mifundo does, we have to look first at the problem that Mifundo is solving. And the problem is that Europe lacks a unified credit scoring system. Unlike the United States, somebody can relocate easily from New York to California. And when he or she gets to California, she has immediate access to credit products, to the bank, to buy a house, to buy a car, etc. Because the bank has immediate access to the credit data, credit scoring, everything, the financial history. But in Europe, that's not happening. And that's a big problem for consumers on the one side, because the consumers are struggling to get access to credit products every time they change a country or they buy a house in another country. And for the banks, it's a huge cost of opportunity, because most of these people, most of this international segment are rejected. So it's a lot of rejections there, so a big business that is escaping from their lending business. So underlying problem is Europe credit data is highly fragmented among all countries, different private systems, public systems in databases in central banks, no data pool of sharing, and different credit scoring. So all in all, what Mifundo does is fixing this. We are aggregating all credit data sources from different sources, credit bureaus, central banks, open banking data, into one single hub. We standardize all this data, and we make it very easy to understand, regardless of the credit analyst from any country. And we integrate all this data from all countries in Europe, so we connect consumers to banks. So we deliver this credit data, these credit profiles, when somebody is applying for a loan in another country, we deliver it instantly to the bank via APIs, via web interface. So, main uses for consumers. So people who are relocating to other countries, people who daily commute between two countries. I think there is a very, I was talking with somebody yesterday in the border of Romania and Hungary. There are a lot of people working and living in the other side of the border. And also people who are buying properties as an investment, as a vacation house in other countries. And last but not least, when I said most of applications are rejected, but those who are accepted, they are many times in worse conditions than compared to local population. So that's not equality. That's something that banks are not complying with the obligation of financial inclusion. So we help banks in that sense too. People think that this is a niche market. It's not. It's a huge market. It's almost 10% of the European population. I don't know if you can raise hands. How many of you have gone to another country to study, to work? You have been relocated? Okay, more or less 40%. Probably this is not a representative sample of the whole population, but we have validated everywhere, every bank we speak in every country in Europe, 10% to 15% of credit applicants are international people. So for banks, we reduce them risk, we provide the data to do proper underwriting, and we allow them to increase their lending business by 15%. As I said, because that's the average that most banks has in their portfolio of international credit applicants. Okay, so we make money very easily. Every query that the bank does to our platform to retrieve a credit profile, we charge a fee. And we have also SaaS fees, API integration fees, but that's another thing, complementary. In terms of traction, we have built the product. We are fully operative with different banks in 9 countries: Romania, Greece, Spain, all Scandinavian, Baltics, very soon in Germany, very soon in the UK. With a big neobank, we are integrating. And it's only for the first year of commercial activity, intensive commercial activity. We received last year EC funding, almost 10 million, the first fintech ever to receive such funding. So who we are a group of entrepreneurs, people coming from banking industry, chairman, CEO, Kai Dosar, other people coming from Estonian unicorns as Wise, Bolt, or Skype. So I would like to end by saying that Mifundo is highly committed with our mission to provide people with the freedom to move and the freedom to be trusted. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jarek. I mentor Startup Wise Guys, so I'm glad to see another, and Technopol. I'm glad to see an Estonian startup here and being super early. I saw you an hour ago here.
Yeah, I was very early, yes, indeed.
Kudos. Yeah, there you go.
Actually, I'm not Estonian, by the way. But
it's an Estonian team.
Yeah, indeed. It's a very international team. We have several members spread across Europe, yeah.
You mentioned the model, and you're selling this as a query to a bank. You mentioned the traction, you mentioned the new markets, you mentioned the team. What is could you say how this, I can see how it plays, but you haven't mentioned how it plays with all the EU regulations. There's at least two, with the PSD2 that you mentioned, but there's PSD3 and there's a little bit about the identity, the wallets, there's a little bit of regulation going on there.
Yes.
How does it play with this? Thank you.
So we are regulated. We are by GDPR. That's our main legal framework. So we comply with GDPR. Mainly, we comply also with AI Act because we are integrating some AI capabilities in the scoring system. So that's main legal reference. But all in all, we have to have consent from the user for every transaction, every profile that we request, because that's depending on the country and each jurisdiction. But long story short, we ask consent to all consumers, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you gather the data?
How we get?
The data to form the credit score.
Yes, we have integrated with virtually all credit scores, credit bureaus in Europe. Now we cover about 75% of the population in Europe. So we can retrieve anyone from 75% of the population profiles. That's main source, credit data, but we also enrich credit data with PSD2, open banking data, because some data points, for instance, regarding income are not pretty well covered by credit data. So very well covered for liabilities, bad debt, etc., but not for income. So we enrich that data with open banking, PSD2 data. Also, we are integrating with central banks. We're still not having one, but very soon, I think we're going to announce the first central bank integration.
Thank you for your presentation. Can you tell us a bit about any competition? And also, do you think that the banking system and all the infrastructure in Europe is ready for it? Because yes, you can provide the passport, but maybe the other people struggle to use that passport today. I mean, even in a single country, I guess there are some difficulties even in the country to cope with this. So in a European level, to me, it seems like a quite heavy task. So.
It is quite heavy, quite complex, but someone has to do it, and we dare to do that. So competition, we are the only company doing this with credit data. There's been other attempts, but not succeed. We think that now it's the right time because we are going towards a single credit market. So credit data markets is one step towards this ultimate goal. So we have the support from EU institutions, European Commission, European Investment Bank in this regard, and yes, I think it's something that makes sense for all. So it's a win-win scenario for all regulators, banks, consumers, and also regarding the last question, we also working with the EU Wallet initiative. It's one of the tracks. That's one of the use case that we're working with because that's different, slightly angled at this one, but we're also approaching that in that scenario.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.